In a world where the marks think they know better than the wrestlers and the bookers, the Fantasy Booking Institute exists to pretty much do exactly that. This is a visit from the FBI.
This is Dan the Dad, and you should listen to Raw and Order or you're grounded.
Welcome to another episode of the Fantasy Booking Institute, your weekly source for pro wrestling fantasy booking. I am your host, Detective Mark Smarks, and I'm joined, as always, by my partner in crime fighting, District Attorney Vincent Kayfabe. What's going on, man? How are you?
The only wrestling podcast going live 27 minutes late because I was literally staring at the mechanism that you would tell me how that it's time to get on. And yet, I did not see the message.
It is what it is. Whatever. Before we get into fantasy booking, I have a few things to talk about that are related to our last episode, the Wrestling Booking Unit, where we talked wrestling news, because literally minutes after we got off air, after talking for a large portion of the broadcast about
Buddy Murphy,
Buddy Matthews, and whether he was going to WWE or whether he was leaving AEW at all or whatever, literally minutes afterwards, he tweeted out just a GIF of Seinfeld, Elaine saying fake, 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 fake. And since then, the news has broke today, at least. Sean Ross Sapp is reporting, and Wrestling. Which one was it? It wasn't Wrestling Observer. Anyways, one of them's reporting that he has to take time off to go back to Australia to sort out visa issues, which makes a lot of sense. Which
also opens up the fake. He hasn't been in talks with WWE.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. That's why he's going back. Because here's the deal. I have a relative who's an immigrant, came here from Europe. It took her over 6 years to get her permanent residency visa. After getting married to my natural-born citizen brother, right? It's not as instant as people think it is. And one of the laws is that you have to, every so often, present yourself at the embassy in your home country to renew your visa. You can't do it over the phone or over the internet, or you can't do it at the local embassy.
The good thing for Tegan and I is I have no problem with you going home.
Yeah.
For a little while.
No problem at all.
And it is still a faster process. Like I said, 6-7 years of being married. And then probably another 5 after. We'll just count on the next 12 years of our lives enjoying each other's company.
Yes. But
be longer than my only marriage I've had once.
So it makes sense that that's what he's doing. He's headed home to take care of all of this stuff so that he can continue to stay over here and work. Also, since then, today, Malachi Black did an Instagram Live where he went off on his frustrations. And he's basically like, I don't know how to make this more clear to you guys. I said it in my farewell speech at the indie show. I said it in my statement.
I'm not going to WWE.
I am taking some time off to work on my health. I will be back in AEW in a few weeks, maybe a few months. I will see you back in AEW. Don't listen to anything anyone else is saying. Now, in fairness,
I would say it's fucked up what you're about to say, but I also think it's exceptional trolling. Now I'll hand it back over to you.
Well, I believe him here, but in
No, so what?
fairness,
I find
in fairness,
what happened last night on Raw. I think it's exceptional trolling,
but
I also think I believe it. Yeah,
I believe, but I am going to say, for completionist's sake, in fairness, it is exactly what we would expect him to say if he was about to show up in WWE. He would still say, "No, I'm not showing up in WWE anytime soon,"
especially
because
after last night's exceptional trolling.
yeah.
And
So,
by Alistair Black.
yeah, the trolling he's referring to, it's actually technically the trolling wasn't in last night's. It was actually in the previous one. Someone realized it yesterday, but it was that if you look at the source code for the website that they posted the previous things, the video that said 923, and then the other one that gave the coordinates, the game. If you looked at the source code, it quoted the Aleister Black theme song in the source code. Now, I said this when chatting with you. They are very obviously going hard on this. Let's put some red herrings in, right?
Yeah. I mean, the
and
word Cole on one, Adam Cole ain't coming.
No.
He's got another year on his contract. And you think Tony Khan's going to start playing that game now?
No. But on top of that, like, the Aleister Black there, the Easter egg from Monday Night Raw gave a zip code. And if you looked up that zip code, it's for Corbin, Tennessee.
Return of Baron Corbin.
Could be. And that's legitimately something it could be, right?
And the actual location in Corbin, Tennessee was...
Well, the first location that comes up is a Wyndham Hotel. Added to it today, I can't remember what it was that linked to it, but something WWE Social linked to a TikTok account. And the video, the TikTok account was... underscore come with me, I want to say what it was called. And
so more TikTok, more carrying cross clues there, it sounds like.
I think it was come with me. Anyways, and the very, very short, no, the TikTok was last night. This one was a YouTube channel, YouTube channel for White Rabbit Records. And the White Rabbit Records had a really short video that gave another zip code. And this one is for Wyndham, Maine. So there have been a lot of clues pointing to Bray Wyatt. Wyndham Rotunda, real name. There have been a few that have pointed towards Karrion Kross, including the White Rabbit thing just in general. And now a few pointing to Baron Corbin and other people.
And outsiders.
So it's obvious they want us talking about it, which is what we're doing. It's great marketing from that standpoint. It's also obvious that they don't want it to be super obvious who it is. I think the smart money's still on Bray Wyatt. Showing him. Especially since eagle-eyed viewers are reporting that they could see. I, with my not quite Coke bottles, but thick glasses, wasn't really able to spot it. But really quickly, in a reflection in the doorway behind Bailey during a segment last night, people are reporting that they saw the buzzard. Forgetting the buzzard's name. Bray Wyatt's buzzard.
Yeah, I know.
Firefly Funhouse buzzard.
Yeah.
Mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy the buzzard.
Yeah. You weren't going to let that go, were you?
My brain can't let things like that go. If I can't remember a name, my brain's like, nope, we're not doing anything else until I remember that. Nope.
Sounds like a a little bit of a mental health issue.
It's 100% undiagnosed autism spectrum disorder. 100%.
You should maybe. You've lived with it for 44 years. I bet you can be fine.
Well, here's the deal: there's not.
Now that you have Google available on a phone,
with the spectrum, there's not much they can do. There's no medicine for the spectrum.
No, that's true. That's true. My nephew is autistic and he self-medicates, but we're not going to talk about.
But
JLB 420.
Yes, no JLB this week, of course. He's down in Mexico hanging with the zero women on the beach. There was a bird.
Yeah.
An actual bird.
Looked like maybe a female peacock.
Peahen. That's what
Peahen? Yes. Yeah, sorry. Peahen. You are correct. So, yeah. I thought it was funny that it's like, yeah, I'm going to go to Mexico. I'm going to see all the ladies. I'm going to have a good time. There wasn't just not women on the beach. There was
nobody.
No,
it was
people.
Empty. It was empty. Now, I mean, in fairness.
And he's at a resort, obviously.
I mean, in fairness, I don't know exactly which resort he is, but it is hurricane season. And I know currently there are no hurricanes headed that way. But it's still one of those things where I could see some of the resorts being like, I don't know how many.
You have a lot more warmth as far south, because I think he's in Cancun, if I remember right. And so you have a lot more warmth that far south, and so they don't build as much because there's not as much turmoil to build.
Nope, you still get the storm swells.
Yeah,
can make beach life a little frustrating. I have to send well wishes to my wife's family who live in Cape Coral, Florida, which is directly in the path.
Yeah, it's on the they've got 4 days then, roughly.
It's on the south end of the path, but it's on the path because it's right on the edge. They're going to get the storm swells.
Florida.
Yep, west side of Florida. They're going to get the storm swells. They're actually evacuating to central Florida. They have some friends who live whopping 22 feet above sea level, which is 22 more feet above sea level than they live in Cape Coral. So
they've opted to move to high ground.
Yes, to high ground, as high ground as they have,
like standing on their roof.
Yeah. But considering they're expected to get 8 to 12 feet of flooding in Cape Coral.
The slow movement will not be good for anybody, especially those coastal areas. So,
but anyway, so
lots of prayers from me.
Yeah, for all of the people down there, but personally for my sister-in-law and her family. Yeah.
Wow. They live in beautiful paradise though.
Yeah, Cape Coral. Fucking gorgeous.
Yeah, western coast of Florida.
Yeah, well,
it's the clear water, the clean water. It's not also the Atlantic where it's gray.
Cape Coral was originally designed to be a retirement community, and then they realized that to get the vibrant life that they really want, they kind of have to start getting younger people to move there. But it's all canals, like. Even if you're in the same neighborhood, if you're wanting to drive from one house to another, it can take you 30 minutes to drive there because of the canals. You have to go all the way out, find the bridge, go all the way around, find a different bridge to get in, go all the way back in. You know what I mean? Because almost all of the houses have boat docks in their backyard from the canals.
So easier to boat to the neighbors.
Yeah, it would probably be easier just to boat there.
Hop in the boat. Come on over for a barbecue.
Anyways,
12 feet, Steve.
Yeah, but we don't need to talk too much about the hurricane. I mean,
we can if our fantasy booking is about Shane Helms.
Yes, stand back. there's a hurricane coming. But this is our Fantasy Booking Institute. This is our fantasy show where we're going to take turns challenging each other to book some unknown and often unlikely scenario in the world of professional wrestling. We do not discuss them in advance because we think it's more fun, but mostly because we often don't think of them until we're sitting right here talking to each other. This will probably be, in the long run, a shorter show than we normally do. If only because A, we got started later than we normally do, and B, we're both fucking beat, and tired, and we'd have one less person than we normally have.
Yeah, I think that's, well, not for fantasy booking. It's about a 50-50 on fantasy booking for real.
60-40. He's been here slightly more than he's been gone. But so, if you want to go first, I'll open it up to you going first. Otherwise, I'll try my challenge first.
I'm eating homemade dip and chips, so I'm going to enjoy that while I think and also respond to your fantasy booking.
Okay. So,
Fiesta dip.
Fiesta. But, trying to decide which one I want to do because I had a couple in my mind. Okay. So, here's my thing, right? People talk a lot about AEW having a overcrowded roster, right?
Okay.
Arguably true. I don't know if I would say it's 100% true. I think there's a fair amount of what's the word I'm looking for? Wiggle room in that, because I firmly believe that if you count, which I'm gonna try to do actually because I just thought of it, if you count up how many people are in each roster, you'll find that WWE probably still has more.
How about per television hour?
I'll be able to tell you in just a second here. Because fortunately for me, Google Sheets has a wonderful copy and paste. So all told, the men's and women's roster for AEW is 137, right?
Okay.
Now, I am going to, for fairness, not include the Performance Center for WWE, right?
Yep.
So that's also not including NXT, right?
Okay, that's fair.
We're gonna just stick main roster here.
AEW's roster has 45 and 2/3 wrestlers per hour. Per television hour. Television hour specifically. So performers per performing hour. Performing television hour.
We might find that main roster alone, AEW has a hair more. But it's not quite as much as you think.
Yeah, per television hour, I would bet that AEW is slightly larger.
Yes, as if you don't count AEW Dark as television hour, which
Yes,
I would agree.
I would not.
I would not.
Now, that said, AEW gets ROH off the ground, and that's what their goal is right now.
Mm-hmm.
You need
Okay.
to have the wrestlers ready for that TV contract.
So, without including NXT, right? WWE has 101 on-air performers, and AEW has 137. So there are 36 more. But, and this is where I throw a big but, that's counting people on AEW's roster like Bear Bronson and Bear Boulder, who haven't wrestled on TV in forever. Blake Christian, who's for Ring of Honor. Brock Anderson, who doesn't hardly wrestle on TV at all. Christopher Daniels, who is mostly VP of Talent Relations. Cole Carter, who wrestles only on Dark.
CM Punk, who probably won't be there.
Fuego del Sol, who only wrestles on Dark. Griff Garrison, who basically only wrestles on Dark. Jeff Hardy, who's currently inactive, but you know, who knows. Lee Johnson, who only wrestles on Dark. Luther, who only wrestles on Dark. Matt Sydal, who basically only wrestles on Dark. Nick Camarado, Michael Nakazawa, Paul White, who doesn't actually wrestle. He's a commentator, but I include him as an on-screen personality. Peter Avalon, who only wrestles on Dark. QT Marshall, who everyone fucking hates. Santana, who's reportedly was talking about leaving AEW before he got injured. Serpentico only wrestles on Dark. Sonny Kiss has been on TV once in the last year. I think that's a shame, but it's true. Abaddon hasn't been used on TV, unfortunately. Emi Sakura only wrestles on Dark. Layla Gray shows up on Dynamite as part of the baddies, but basically only wrestles on Dark. Riho has been missing in action for a long time. Now, you know, but recently has wrestled on Dark. Includes Soraya as an on-screen personality, but maybe not active wrestler. We don't know yet. Yuka Sakazaki only wrestles on Dark. And so, in fairness, a bunch of these are Dark exclusive, which is the equivalent of NXT in many ways.
Well, I also think that there's a portion of that you have to treat those wrestlers as what they are, like they're enhancement talent.
Well, that's my point. They're enhancement talent, or at the very, we will be generous and call them developmental talent. And if we're generous and call them developmental talent, then they're the equivalent of NXT.
Yeah.
And if we go into this with NXT as an option, the math changes considerably.
Can you vary NXT from televisable to non-televisable?
Not really.
Okay.
I mean, sort of we can, because the list does have a section specifically for Performance Center,
Okay.
as in the people who have not been seen on TV at all. So I'm not including those at all on it. But when you add in NXT, you're talking 190 total wrestlers in WWE, including NXT.
There's 90 televised wrestlers in NXT.
Yes.
No wonder Trips keeps taking wrestlers from NXT.
Well, I mean, you have to remember a lot of it comes down to when they closed down NXT UK, a bunch of those people got moved over. It also includes people like, I like Ikemen but he hasn't been used on TV in a long time. Roderick Strong has been nowhere for a long time.
What happened there? Yeah, with Trips coming back, you'd have maybe he's the White Rabbit.
Maybe he is the White Rabbit. But that's my point is if you include NXT and you're including Dark, the math ends up evening out a lot more, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's tough because Dark doesn't have a set number of hours. But even if you just call Dark and Dark Elevation an hour each, that almost very nearly doubles, AEW's televised time, right?
Yeah,
They
that
go
puts
from
it at
3
5
hours.
to 7.
Mm-hmm.
If you give those 2 hours, an hour each.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so my challenge to you is I want you to create a new concept for AEW, televised show that will help them feature more wrestlers on screen in a way that's fresh and exciting and is not just like, here's another hour of Rampage or whatever. You know what I mean? Or also not just, here's AEW Dark on TV.
So a new TV show.
Yes. New TV show specifically to feature wrestlers that don't get featured a lot. Right. I'm not saying you can't have some of the stars on, but this is designed to be the one to help them show off.
I think one of the things you have to start off with is an ROH show. I really like the idea of a Sunday night show, and I know you and I have talked about it. Heat was the best non-Raw or SmackDown show WWE's ever put out. I think we can both say that pretty solidly. Saturday Night Main Event is close, but Heat ran a lot longer and way more consistent than NBC's Saturday Night Main Event. So I'm going to say a Sunday night show running primetime Sunday night, because primetime Sunday night is a weak television market with the exception of NFL football. And so number one is I do an ROH branded show on Sunday night. I keep the Pure Championship. I keep the ROH Championship. I probably introduce a multi-branded women's tag championship that can go back and forth between AEW and ROH, spending most of its time on ROH. I have an ROH women's champion. I probably don't do a mid-card title other than the Pure. So I have a Pure for both men and women's and a world champion for both, and then a tag for both. The tag women's would be able to cross brand, I think. I would probably try to make that a 2-hour show, and I think the way I make it unique is Pure Rules gauntlet matches open every single episode. So your first match on that hour and a half or 2-hour show for 15 to 30 minutes, maybe even 45, is a Pure Rules gauntlet match every single show. And that allows you to have some of those guys get squashed, but more importantly, show some wrestling style wrestling instead of the sports entertainer style stuff. some wrestling style wrestling, and start featuring that product in what will be inevitably Tony Khan's worst time slot, but probably one of the top performers on Sunday night on basic cable. So that's what I would do.
Okay. So, what if I were to throw a curve to you and go back and specifically state that this is an AEW show? Because that was my original intent. I didn't want to stop you once you started to say a Ring of Honor.
Oh, well, that's a bunch of hooey.
I'm
flipping you off right now.
Pussy, do it on camera.
What?
I said, do it on camera, pussy.
There you go. Now I'm gonna go hide in my corner. Okay, so AEW specific. I still go with the Sunday night. I think that's the night that you can work the best into. I think you have to start it the second Sunday in February. I think you want NASCAR's first weekend to be open, which is the Pro Bowl / Daytona 500. I think you want the Super Bowl open, and I think you want to start the second weekend in February. You might even wait till the end of February so that men aren't trying to compete with Valentine's Day to watch the show, because at the end of the day, the audience is still male-driven. It's not as male-driven as it once was, but it is still male-driven, so... I really like the idea of opening with a gauntlet. The concept would be this. You open with a gauntlet to get a title shot. Not for the AEW championship. Maybe for the All-Atlantic. But that's getting moved around a lot, so that'd be really hard to bring back every week. Or to earn your way into a tournament or something. It's the build to the next pay-per-view. So every single time, that's how I would do it. The show would be entirely about winning the mid-cards TNT, TBS championships. Every single episode opens with a 4 to 6 person gauntlet. That person, the winners, after a certain amount of time, say 8 weeks, get thrown into a tournament. Then every week you have those tournament matches building to the pay-per-view. And then you have some other filler matches that have come to fruition because those people have had feuds, developed feuds through the gauntlets, through the tournament. So it's build to the TNT championship, just road to the TNT championship, road to the TBS championship. That is what it is every single 4 times a year. Sunday nights. Completely different. You have to earn your title, your shot at now. Main rosters still get their rando title shots at Jade Cargill and at Wardlow. But instead, these people can get a shot at the pay-per-view. The only way you get a shot at the TBS or TNT championships at the pay-per-views is through that tournament. Every single time. You can feature 32 people if you do 4-man gauntlets. Up to 32. You can do 16 if you want. Hey, you didn't win that gauntlet, but you were first man in and you lasted all the way to the end. You get another shot. You're going to be the last man in at the gauntlet this week. Build some stories with it. A gauntlet can easily give you 30 to 45 minutes of wrestling. Easily.
Okay.
And then you can feature our more endurance based wrestlers and things like that. I just really like the idea of gauntlets mattering somehow. Like, I didn't love Kofi Kingston until Kofi Kingston ran the gauntlet. And heels win gauntlets from the final position, and that sells.
Okay.
So I like the idea of a gauntlet building into a tournament every single time for the TBS TNT Championship. Or maybe twice a year it builds to that. And then the other times it builds, they do tag teams that way. And then, so you have TNT, TBS, tag team, and preferably women's tag, but you're probably going to go with All Atlantic because there's not no women's tag team division in AEW.
There could be.
You could do trios, but that'd be an awful lot of wrestlers to run gauntlets every week. You have 8 trios teams, and they just, well, you guys are all the ones who are in the tournament. Congratulations, all of you won a gauntlet. All we ever saw was those 8.
Okay. I'll allow it.
I think it's new, fresh. I don't know if it would be good. I really don't. I know for the first run through the tournament, whether it's for Jade Cargill's title or for Wardlow's, it would definitely, people would tune in just to, all right, how's this going to go? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. It's such a weird set of rules. Same with pure championships. Oh, weird set of rules. And yet it's still different than a 24/7 or hardcore championship setup.
Okie doke.
So, yeah. How would you do it? I'm curious. We have 2 of us, so.
Yeah. For me, I would try to focus less on gimmicks. And so not saying that the gauntlet match isn't a good idea. I think gauntlet matches have their place. Used, I don't want to say sparingly, but relatively sparingly. When you use them too often, I think they start to lose their luster. And that's kind of my worry on that. But used as needed, could be good. I think the bigger thing is you focus on the mid-card titles, right? You introduce a women's tag title.
I wholeheartedly agree with that.
And you focus on this. You put it, the day. Here's the deal: is there's no such thing as a good day to do this, really, because you've got fucking Monday Night Raw to compete with.
You don't do it on another wrestling night.
Tuesday you've got NXT, so you probably want to avoid that. Wednesday, guess what? You've got Dynamite. You don't want to compete with your own product. Thursday, you compete with Impact, which I guess you can do if you want to, It's not the end of the world if you do that. Friday, you compete with either SmackDown or your own other product. So now it's Saturday or Sunday. Now, you could do Saturday without directly competing with yourself. But Saturday is a tough night to do professional wrestling on because it's the night that people do a lot of other stuff. It's the night people get out and do stuff.
And Sundays, you're occasionally going to go up against a pay-per-view.
Yeah,
Sunday
you're going to.
We've mentioned that you can open for a pay-per-view with it. Yeah. That can be your pre-show.
You could occasionally go up against a pay-per-view. The tough thing with Sunday is, for a certain time out of the year, you're going to be competing with football.
Yes.
Right. So that's
and a little bit with basketball, but wrestling has shown that it can take on basketball pretty solidly.
Mm-hmm. But in the end, you're just basically, you're always going to be having to worry about dealing with a sort of competition, right?
A real Housewives of Memphis or whatever place they're at now is not really going to draw the same audience. No, it's not going to draw a large portion of the same audience as professional wrestling does. Yeah. There will be some who will be like, I can't believe I can't watch both.
Mm-hmm. But so you're going to be competing
Chopped.
against, aside from Saturday or Sunday, you're going to be competing against another wrestling product. Now, is Impact really competition? Not really. You know, it's on such few TV channels that
It's where Bobby Fish landed when he couldn't find a job. So it's good enough for Bobby Fish to land.
It is indeed.
He almost seemed like a fish out of water there. That was my
But did you see the video I sent out earlier today? The link. Bobby Fish wrestling at a Rev Pro show.
Throwing the pizzas out.
That is
dick move.
That is my favorite move from that. Now here's this. Some people are going all off on
I'm sure there were pizzas that were designed for him to throw.
Well, no, I don't necessarily think they were designed for him to throw so much as available for him to throw. But here's the deal. Some people are going off that, this is what happens when you are just bitter about losing your position, bitter about not being able to go to WWE like you thought you were going to, yada yada yada. Here's what it comes down to. I don't think he was bitter. I don't think he was doing anything bitter at all. I think he was being a heel.
And a good one with that.
Yeah, and a good one. He got the crowd eating out of his hands. I think
here's a bunch of fat people's pizza away, and that's exactly how you get them eating out of your hands.
And the thing with the pizza, here's what I think it comes down to, right? I don't think the pizza was set aside for him to throw out. I do, however, think that he was probably the main event of the show, right? Because
everybody probably already had their fill.
He was probably at the end of the show because he was very likely. I haven't looked at specifically what the card was for that show, but it's very likely that he was the biggest name.
Likely, yeah.
On the show, right? And so probably in the main event. So the chances are really good that anyone who was going to eat pizza had already ordered their pizza, had already gotten their slices.
It's also good product placement. If Little Caesars paid money for that, or if they even donated 2 of the pizzas, like.
But I just love that. No pizza for you. He grabs the pizza from the concession stand, walks outside and throws it. What a fucking dick move.
Also, if he's the biggest name there, probably the only guy there that could afford to throw away.
That's my point. It was probably
6 pizzas.
It was probably a good chunk of his booking fee.
Yeah.
Frankly.
And he went, I'm gonna get some coverage.
And he did.
Absolutely he did.
I thought it was epic. Like, here's the deal. We talked about it before. I'm a Bobby Fish fan. I think he's a phenomenal wrestler. I think he does really good work. I'm sad that we didn't get to see that sort of dick heel Bobby Fish ever in NXT or AEW, right?
No, he was always some other heel's bitch.
But the other side of the coin is, Bobby Fish didn't sell tickets to NXT. Bobby Fish didn't sell tickets to AEW.
I'm not sure he would sell tickets to Zello Pro. Like, I can tell you of the people we saw at Zello Pro that we knew about beforehand, the 2 of us were most excited about Jordan Grace and Chelsea Green. Specifically those 2. There was some excitement for Dan the Dad and Warhorse.
Honorable mention for Warhorse, in my opinion. Yeah. He's high on my list. I love Warhorse.
But I feel like Bobby Fish would have sold us tickets more than, say, Billy and Austin Gunn did.
Yeah.
I was not as excited for them. Now, after the fact, I would say Jonathan Gresham's pretty high on our list.
Yep.
I would say after the fact, BSK, is that what their name is? The guys from Kansas City. No, that's Bone Street Cruise, BSK. Anyway.
Country Grammar?
No, that was
the other one.
That was the big dude and the little tiny black guy.
Yeah. I can't remember their name. I can't remember their tag name.
But they were great heels.
Mm-hmm.
And Heather Reckless now would sell me. After the fact, I would go to any Heather Reckless show. She is very hateable. In a great way.
Yep.
Colt Cabana's up there pretty high for me now, too. And wasn't at the time.
Anyways. But we'll move on to...
Yeah.
So that's... I mean, what I would do is I would focus on it being mid-card, women's tag. We'd keep the main championships off of it. This would be setting things up. I would also, however, institute a new rule in AEW. I've mentioned it before. It was one of my favorite rules WCW had for a long time. And it was having the mid-card title entitled you to a main card title shot at some point, right? So if you were the TBS champion, or in the men's case, the TNT champion, you could relinquish your belt for a scheduled shot at the next belt, right? So sort of like they treat the chip in AEW right now. But the reason I liked it is it made the mid-card title more important, right? Because it was a stepping stone.
Correct.
Got that title, and you could eventually turn it in for a shot at the main card, right?
So you're talking about Impact's X Division.
Sort of like the X Division, but WCW.
But you didn't have to. You didn't have to wait for Bound for Glory either.
Nope. WCW did it for a long time. If you were the United States champion, you could turn it in for a shot at the World Championship.
Several times WWE did it, where the Intercontinental Champion said, "Well, I got the Intercontinental Championship. I should be able to get the World Championship." I specifically remember a Jeff Jarrett versus Diesel match that was that.
But,
oh, we have something on the Twitch. We have been told to hydrate-ish 5 times.
5 times?
Five hydrations right there. Tipped it 5 times. You don't have anything to drink with you, do you? Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That'll count. I feel like that counts. Oh, you just chug. Just poke a hole in the bottom and straight up. What is? Yeah, I don't remember what that's called. Anyway,
boom, completed.
There you go.
But so the big thing about it, once again, was you could, as part of it, say, hey, I've got this. I am going to turn it in, and then you would get a scheduled shot at the world title, right?
Okay. Or you could hold on to it and say, I still have this title.
Or you could hold on to it and still have the title. Yeah, and the big thing, it was a risk. Because if you lost your world title shot, now you had 0 titles, and you're to the back of both lines.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it was a risk, because you were giving up. And then, of course, there was the kayfabe rules of, oh, you're the champion, so you get paid more. Or you're the champion, so you have certain perks by being champion. And giving it up, then you gave up those perks with the goal of getting the new perks as world champion, right? So we have that rule now. You're the TNT title champion, right? So you're Wardlow. You can say, I'm going to turn this in for a shot at the world title. Now you instantly have a TNT title tournament because it's now vacant, right? Turn it in. Title tournament, so that's fun stuff there. And then that person goes off to a main roster feud. So it elevates the TNT title, the mid-card title, because now it's the thing that makes champions, right? Or at least makes championship matches. It also helps prevent stagnation. I worry right now with the TBS title on AEW that we're getting close to stagnation with it. Because Jade Cargill has been the only champion to have it. And she is now 38-0, I think. Let me find out, because I want to make sure I'm correct on that. Jade Cargill.
Cargill. Got it.
Gotta go to the
Yeah, some 30 something to know.
We will go to.
I also enjoy the concept that you have to give up the title to get the world title.
Yes. And that's the deal.
That way you don't get a Goldberg-esque, I won the title and had both, and then I gave it up because I won the world title.
And that's the key. That's the key to this working, is that it has to be you give it up first, right?
Correct.
That's how it works. Then you can go, onto the title match, have your fun there.
Potentially win.
Yes, potentially win. So she is I think they count in her official things multi-person matches for some reason. So they count the Jade Cargill and Shaq versus Cody and Red Velvet, and they count the Casino Battle Royal. I think, and so that puts her at 39-0. So I think that's what they're counting that in her career record. 39-0. Anyways. But so she'd be able to, instead of stagnate away waiting for someone to beat her, she'd be able to say, I beat everyone for this title. Now I want that title.
I beat all comers because theoretically Britt Baker's never come for that title. Theoretically,
Thunder Rosa.
Thunder Rose has never come for that title.
Exactly.
Nyla Rose has never come for that title.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, there's people who aren't really main event picture people who haven't come for that title.
Yeah. But my point is, it helps elevate her to the main event without necessarily giving her a loss in the mid card.
Yeah. Yep.
It then allows someone else to get into that title scene.
It elevates the championship in particular in a Jade Cargill moment. It elevates the championship.
Yep. So, and the same thing works for Wardlow and the TNT championship. You know, you can have him beat a bunch of people and then say, you know, I've been a great TNT champion.
I'm going to be the first one to turn this in for a world title.
I want to be the first one to be both a TNT and a world title holder, right? I want to be the first double here. Not champ, but first one to hold both of those mid-card belts. The mid-card and the world belt at any time. Because right now there hasn't been anyone, right?
Nope.
So, they were close because the stories have it that Brody was supposed to end up going on to the world title before
his
illness.
But, didn't have time.
But so, anyways, so this would then focus on building up these newer stars, these younger stars. Effectively, the mid-card championships would be the championships for this show, right?
They're always defended on that show.
Yes, well, and always talk.
Or there's always a tournament to get to it.
Mm-hmm. That's the belt that people on this show are going after. And when you graduate from that, you would graduate to the other shows.
So how many successful defenses do you think that title should have before you can turn in? Because I think that should be a rule. You have to have a certain number. You don't just get the title and go, ha, here you go.
I don't think it has to be a rule because I mean, just winning it once and turning it in for a world title basically guarantees you're going to lose the world title shot. You know what I mean?
True.
And so, you know, just like you have to win your conference before you can hopefully go on to the Super Bowl, right? But you don't just immediately win your conference and now you're in the Super Bowl. You then have to go off through some other things to prove that you belong in the Super Bowl. But like I said, is, you know, if you want to have someone, you want to tell that story that fucking Nyla Rose wins the TBS championship and then immediately says, I'm turning this in for my shot at the world title. You can tell that story as long as it ends with her being dominated in the world title match, you know, and you didn't prove yourself yet.
Man, you're using a former world champion to do that.
But anyways, that's the big thing I would do. And then, like I said, I would have a women's tag championship. I also would kind of, in contrast to what your original idea was, I would specifically not do any Ring of Honor stuff on this show. Now, I do think we are very, very close to there not being Ring of Honor on AEW TV.
Yeah.
I think we're very close.
When do you think, not my fantasy booking, I want your opinion. When do you think, what day of the week do you think that airs, and day and time, and what company do you think picks them up? I mean, is this what is it? Not Alpine, the one out of Denver.
Altitude,
that's what it is. Or is this a CMT, or is this a MTV picks them up? Because ABC doesn't have anything right now. ABC has 0 wrestling right now.
Yeah.
ABC Disney.
So I do not think it goes on one of the OTA networks, right? It's not going to go on CBS,
No.
ABC, NBC. The
But
only reason
the reason I said ABC is because that's MTV, that's ESPN, that's Disney Family, that's all of those.
The only reason that Ring of Honor previously had been on any of those OTA ones is because it was owned by Sinclair, and Sinclair owned a bunch of local network channels, right?
Yeah.
Ultimately, I think it goes on a Warner Discovery channel, right? I think
Do you
Tony
think
Khan's
A&E drops the... Does A&E drop the WWE reality series
nah,
to do this?
I don't think it goes to A&E.
Ooh, I could see Travel Channel picking this up. Travel. That'd be a really cool place to do it because then you can feature where they're at as well.
Yeah, I still think Warner Brothers Discovery.
Well, that's part of Discovery. Travel Channel is.
It's
This is
not
a Discovery
listed.
Channel.
Oh, there it is. Travel under there.
Yeah.
No, I don't think. I would think to be perfectly honest, True TV is a shot.
Okay.
Because it's all about like reality,
yeah.
stuff like that. I'm thinking potentially, possibly Discovery Channel, one of those.
Breakup ID Investigation Discovery.
I also think that
Discovery Life would be a good one.
Mm-hmm. I also think that maybe hopping into like one of the like AT&T Sportsnet, doing it on one of those,
Animal
is
Planet.
a possibility.
Ooh, I like this one. American Heroes Champion or Channel. War stories, Great Plains, Natural Born Outlaws.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling.
It's really, I mean, they would have to lean heavily into getting people with former military service, because that's really what it is. It's a military channel. So
I don't think that they put it on A&E.
No, I don't think it goes
WWE
on A&E
stuff. I also would love a women's one on Lifetime. No. So much of their channels are about education. You know, like TLC with 90 Day Fiance, Say Yes to the Dress. I don't think the Learning Channel is the Learning Channel anymore.
Not really. The other option is, instead of it being on a network TV, you stick it on HBO Max.
And that's all it gets is HBO Max.
Mm-hmm. Or
Discovery Plus.
Or HBO and HBO Max / Discovery Plus when they merge.
Yeah.
That's another option.
I would say the Food Network, but that would require so many food fights it wouldn't even be funny anymore. I don't want a mashup of Cupcake Wars and...
I think True TV. I think that's the best option. I'm going to go with True TV. You hit it on True TV. It doesn't have quite the impact of like TBS or TNT, but it's still 91 million households. Versus...
And it's a really good way to break up True TV.
Yep. versus TBS, which is on 91 million households. Yeah. So,
True TV. What day of the week?
I
know you said you didn't like any of them, but
no, again,
gotta
there's
pick
no
one.
good day. Frankly, Thursday is probably the best because it doesn't compete with a big name. Tuesday wouldn't be horrible, but then you'd instantly get the Tuesday night.
You guys
war
are just
pop
trying to
again.
cause a war.
Yeah. Tuesday Night War. Oh my goodness! And then the WWE nerds will come out and be like, "We're gonna kick your ass." And yeah, of course you are. You're a
You're on
relatively
USA.
established on
We're on
USA Network, and
True
we're
TV.
a respawn on True TV. Yeah, you're gonna win.
Yeah. 160 million households to 90 million households. It does make me wonder how many households. Network. USA Network is commercially available to, ready for this? 90.4 million households. It would actually be a really good way to do this Monday Night Wars or Tuesday Night Wars. It's mind boggling. I wonder what CBS has for TV lines.
But anyways, so that's what I would do. I would put it on there. I would specifically focus it on True TV on, really hit the reality aspect of the, of Ring of Honor. But then, like I said, the big key is you completely separate now the brands. No more Ring of Honor on AEW, no more AEW mentioned on Ring of Honor. I mean, mention them, that's fine. But no belts, no defenses, all of that stuff. You could then have invasion storylines, where Moxley goes over to Ring of Honor with the belt and says, I'm the better champion and whatever, but 90% of the time, keep them separate.
Hold up. Paramount bought the Nickelodeon MTV line from ABC? Comedy Central, Nickelodeon, and MTV are all part of the CBS Paramount umbrella. I did not know that. That's impressive.
Impressive.
Most impressive.
Most impressive.
I just don't know that the CBS product line is going to pull it off. Paramount CBS. I'm looking at stuff that's on Paramount Plus, and it's like 1883 is all I would watch on there.
Oh, there's actually a ton of things on Paramount Plus that I want. I need to get Paramount Plus for it. And I am going to 100%
There's
disagree.
such a good working relationship with Peacock, though, man. Peacock gets almost everything they get after the season's over.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you right now, Paramount Plus is high on my list of next ones to get. I disagree heavily with you on the don't know if it's going to.
I'd like to see Amazon get a good merger with one of those companies, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime
because right now you go to Paramount Plus's home screen, and one of the very first things it shows you is one of the characters from Star Trek Lower Decks, which is phenomenal. So good. The new Beavis and Butthead is going to be on Paramount Plus.
Yeah, I have zero desire to watch that.
I have lots of desire. I've been watching clips from it, and it looks hilarious. The parts that I've seen so far. All of the Star Trek series are on Paramount Plus, which automatically gives it a win. So, Star Trek Lower Decks, Star Trek Discovery, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Picard. All of those are
Nerd.
but that's right there. Something. If I was 90 years old, NCIS and NCIS Hawaii are on there.
That's a CBS show, so that makes sense.
Criminal Minds is on there, and I believe the Criminal Minds reboot is going to be on there.
How long before services like that do you think put out Netflix? I think Netflix's own policies are going to put out Netflix. Let's be honest about it. But
well, possibly. Here's the thing. The thing that I don't think any of them are going to put out Netflix. What they are going to do is slowly put out traditional cable. Slowly, but eventually. MTV's The Challenge is now going to be a Paramount, and that's something that my wife and I kind of watch, unfortunately, religiously. The Halo series is a Paramount Plus thing, which some people really, really, really like. So that's going to be something I'm going to think about. There was something else, and I'm trying to remember what it was.
Because of my infatuation with oh my gosh, what's the one on? Oh, the other ranch one, the 1883 Yellowstone.
Oh, Yellowstone.
I really want to watch the whole 1883 series when it's done, but I'll probably just buy the whole series.
The people slightly younger than me, but not super younger than me, who grew up on Nickelodeon's The Fairly Odd Parents, and Rugrats. The new series of both of those are going to be on Paramount Plus.
Is Timmy a grown up?
Nope, still kids, still babies.
Oh, well, fuck that noise.
Additional, but now aimed at adults. So those are all Paramount Plus originals that I'm already planning on signing up for Paramount Plus. The one that I don't understand is fucking Hulu. I don't
how they're still alive.
How it's still around.
Because everybody else has their own streaming service now.
Yeah, the only reason my wife keeps wanting once a year, my wife says we need to sign back up for Hulu, and that's for the fucking Handmaid's Tale. And then I'm like, okay, is it over? Can I cancel now? Because there's fucking nothing else there. Plus, fucking commercials. Pay money for.
Well, the Kardashians are on there. That must be a Hulu only. Yep, those are Hulu originals. So the new Kardashians show is on there. So people go to that, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. Boy, I don't see anything on here that I ever hear people talk about. Shoresy, the ones that I buy the whole seasons of from Canada.
Mm-hmm. But like Paramount Plus, you can watch the original Aeon Flux on there. The original Real Monsters. My wife would love that. The original Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog when Urkel voiced him.
Boy, there is just not the most. So these are the top 5 most watched on Hulu. The Patient, Reboot, Handmaid's Tale, which, yeah, The Kardashians, and Tell Me Lies.
Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies.
Boy, that's rough.
All seasons of Blue's Clues are on Paramount Plus. For my daughter, it's worth it just for that.
So she can know who Steve is.
You know, Steve's my host. He's my guy, right? But I will not stand for any Josh slander around me either.
No, he's a good kid.
Josh is fucking
Good kid.
awesome.
Yeah.
Joe can eat it though. Fucking hate Joe.
Wasn't Joe between Josh and Steve?
Yes. Yeah,
I didn't
Steve
hate
handed it
Joe.
off to Joe
Why do you got hate on Joe?
because he can eat it. That's why.
I want to know why nobody wants to keep their fucking dog. And keep
That's
Steven
a little
guy.
disturbing. They're all
Grown-ass
like,
people
I gotta
with
go
a
up to college.
well-behaved dog.
Fuck off with my dog. You know,
With a
whatever.
well-behaved dog.
Yeah, that dog's got trauma, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. And what, you didn't want the seasoning when you left either? So you left Mr. Salt and Mrs. Pepper and Paprika there?
Well, I mean, they were starting a family. Because now they've got paprika and
oregano?
Cinnamon.
Little
baby cinnamon.
Uncle Sugar comes around bloated and irritated all the time.
Oh, and not to mention, if you got Paramount Plus, then you have access to Showtime Originals, like the full Dexter, the New Blood, which apparently is getting a season 2. Don't know how the fuck they're doing that. Homeland, if you want to watch that.
So, okay, you ready? Did you say what night you would do?
I said Thursdays is probably the best night.
That's right. Yep.
But yeah, that's probably what I do.
All right. So moving forward.
Moving forwardly with Star Wars.
So obviously the talk for a couple of weeks has been, what's going to happen where with the Elite and CM Punk. I'm going to go ahead and I think it's time to go ahead and do a fantasy booking. And I want you to fantasy book the remainder of CM Punk's career as a professional wrestler, not as retired from wrestling again. Does he land? Well, you have to have him land somewhere.
Making stupid rules for me. Because frankly, I think he's done as a professional wrestler.
Yeah, I don't. Other than one-offs on realistically, I think other than one-offs on house shows or indie shows, I don't think he comes back. Yeah. I think somebody pays him $10,000 to fill an arena for him.
Yeah. And I think he gets a fat buyout of his contract from Tony Khan. And he retires to Chicago.
Does he go control his narrative?
No. You know why he doesn't do that? Not because I think he doesn't want to, but CYN suspended all operations.
That's because they lost a third of their people. Yeah, and probably half of them got COVID, because they're anti-vaxxers. Sorry.
Yeah. They canceled all remaining shows for the year. And
well, EC3 only has so much money to lose.
Yep.
On bar shows that pay him $3,000.
Yeah.
And without names like Killer Cross or Adam Scher.
Well, the thing is, they were barely selling out 200 seats at bars, right? They hoped.
I mean, Zella Pro did better in a town of 25,000 people. Yeah. We had, what, was 600 people there roughly?
Somewhere around that.
At the Zella Pro?
Mm-hmm. But so in the end, yeah, it's in reality, I think CM Punk's done. If I have to book him as a wrestler by your rules,
and he has to land somewhere with a contract, like I said, land somewhere. I could see him going to an indie where you can actually be in control.
The only thing. Give me 1 second. Gotta look up something.
And for 5 years, he'd sell tickets. After that, people would be like, oh, well. I mean, they'd have to travel. CMW, Chicago Made Wrestling.
Well, there's already AAW Pro and Windy City Slam and Chicago Pro Wrestling. Which one of those do I think is bigger?
So the AAW, I could see him trying to push his way into being a management at Shimmer. Got a way to ruin a perfectly good women's promotion. I could even see him maybe getting into IWA Mid-South because that's based out of Indiana, or Main Event, so that's based out of Indiana.
I think
Nearby.
I think AAW is probably the likeliest. Yeah. AAW. I think he takes his buyout money from Tony Khan and he invests as a partner in AAW. So now he can be the EVP backstage, throwing his fucking dick around, booking himself as champion. And he can show Tony Khan and all the other marks out there how to do it right. And so, of course, he becomes their champion.
Fair enough.
He's going to beat fucking Hammerstone. I don't know who their current champion is. Let's find out.
Anywhere else you can see him going? Is there a major you can see him landing on? You think? I don't think New Japan picks him up. Does Japan Pro? Not New Japan Pro, but Japan Pro.
No. I literally, after this, I think it would be a long time before any major gives him a real shot.
I think you're most likely to pick him up would be AAA or Impact of a major.
Frankly, I don't think
Impact would.
I think the person who would be most likely
is Trips,
or at least the most likely landing spot for him, is actually now the least likely landing spot. But I really do think the place that he was destined to be was back in Ring of Honor, and I think he's burned that bridge.
Yeah. I think it's more likely that he ends up at WWE.
Heather Reckless has wrestled for AAW.
There you go. It's fairly close. So that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. But now I'm going to go off on a tangent on CM Punk and say, I hope, because again, I've said this before, I'll repeat it, I am truly a CM Punk fan. I like him in the ring. I like what he brings. I hope he swallows some pride, eats some crow, apologizes to everyone he needs to, promises to be a good boy, works his way back, and they're able to take this and move on. And again, I think the real place to put him is not AEW, but Ring of Honor. I think CM Punk returning to Ring of Honor sells fucking tickets. It's good for CM Punk, and it's good for Tony Khan, and then it gets him away from the fucking Young Bucks and the Elite, right?
The EVPs. Yep.
So he gets to go off to Ring of Honor, be a happy camper, have fun there. I think that's what's best for if he wants to continue wrestling. That being said, he's taken his ball and went home before and spent 7 years not wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, the dude has a 44-year history of that attitude. And I say that because there's no way that just randomly developed in WWE.
No.
So
I would like
he
to
had
see
the
him
ability to leverage ROH in those situations. I also think he was more friendly to his co-wrestlers. I think there's something to be said for his thoughts that he put asses in seats, that he sold tickets, because he did.
Mm-hmm.
And when he realized that he sold tickets, I think that it amplified the asshole.
Yeah.
But the asshole was there.
I think he got lost in his own sauce. But
high on his own supply, but he doesn't get high. So
yeah, I want to see him wrestle again. I truly do. I was happy to see him show up to AEW. I think he was good for the business for the time he was there. But any business, doesn't matter whether it's wrestling or fucking selling computers or cars or TVs at Best Buy, when you stop being a benefit to the business, you become a liability to the business.
Yeah.
And this outburst took him from
largest benefit in the company
to liability. And he's got to earn his way back from liability to become a benefit again.
So your fantasy booking, the way you would fantasy book it, is CM Punk grows up.
Yeah.
And
puts on his big boy pants, eats a little bit of crow.
Says, "Hey, Tony, will you base ROH out of Chicago so I can be home?"
Yeah. I mean, even just the tour schedule that they could have him do, right? If they do Ring of Honor like Ring of Honor had been doing for a long time, they would record. They basically followed the Impact Wrestling schedule where they'd record 3 weeks.
Yep.
And then they do live 1 week, pay-per-view, and then record 3 weeks. And then live 1 week, pay-per-view, record 3 weeks, right? His schedule would be better than it is with AEW. It wouldn't be any worse. He wouldn't have to do house shows and all of that stuff. He'd just get to fucking travel every couple of weeks and be a happy camper, right? So it wouldn't matter even where it was based out if he could do it. But the big thing, he would be featured on Ring of Honor. Wouldn't have to be around the EVPs. So he could be a happy camper with that. EVPs would be happier because they're not around him. Everyone's happy. And then we get to see CM Punk because he is really good. He's good on the mic and he's good in the ring. He's entertaining. He does put butts in seats.
Just the question is, can he humble himself?
Mm-hmm.
Which, in the past, he has proven he cannot.
In the past, he has not, yes.
Well, that's a fair booking. Game? No game?
I'm deciding.
Guess the wrestler's a little tough with one person. A little more boring is really what it is.
Yeah.
We do have a couple of viewers. Maybe they can guess against me. Beat the Fabe.
With no fucking Fernando.
Wah, wah, wah.
Come on, Fernando. You can do it.
No, Fernando. He just watches this on different days.
Yeah, I'm sure he either watches or listens to the stream later, but we miss you, Fernando. Figure out Twitch.
Where you can hear us talk about Mark Smark's favorite wrestling promotion out of Michigan, Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Hey, you do not badmouth the Juggalos around here. Woot woot.
I'm sure the wrestling promotion's pretty decent, but boy, if I started playing some ICP and Smarks was in the room, I'd probably be liable to take a chair to the head.
Me?
Yeah.
Heck no, I love ICP.
Really?
I mean, not love, but they're progressive heroes. They canceled the gathering of Juggalos during COVID. They were one of the first major people to do it because they were like, listen, I don't want to put our fans at risk over this. They stopped using homophobic language in their songs because
give them props for that.
Because they realized the danger that it could be and have openly apologized for their previous use of it. And not
Punk, you can apologize.
Yeah. That's the deal. It's in the end with CM Punk, it comes down to this. This is not the point of no return. Everyone, including the dirt sheets, are reporting on it like it's the point of no return, right?
It's only the point of no return if he makes it the point of no return.
Yeah. You can come back from this if you swallow some pride and apologize, right? All the reports are saying...
And the sooner the better. Own it. The sooner you own it, the better off you are.
But all the reports are saying that even your side admits that you threw the first punch and that they didn't kick down your door like the original report was. That's it, So you just say, listen, guys, I'm sorry. I said some stuff that was hurtful to you.
I overreacted when you came to talk to me like I asked you to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I overreacted. I was hot. I was injured. I said some things I didn't mean. And
or I did mean, but I didn't get enough context to actually make a reasonable decision.
Yeah, I said some things out of ignorance. I accused you out of ignorance.
Yeah, I don't think you want to make excuses. I think you want to own it completely. So I didn't mean as an excuse. No, you meant them. You just didn't give yourself the opportunity to get the information.
And you make an apology, a real apology.
In fact, out of respect for you guys, I'm going to give you guys a chance to kick my ass one at a time. Gauntlet match.
Yeah. You and your gauntlet matches. But here's the deal. And in the end, because this could still lead to a ratings boon for AEW, right?
Sure.
CM Punk back after being gone. CM Punk can throw another fit. Frankly, I've been waiting for since he came back. They've hinted at it before. Well, heel CM Punk.
Yeah.
Fucking, let him be heel, right? Have him come back and be like, listen, look at this. Look at this shit again. They've stripped the title from me again, right? I get injured. They give someone else the championship interim. So then I have to beat him to get it back. Then I get injured again, and they strip the title from me. This is bullshit.
This is your kayfabe CM Punk.
Yeah, kayfabe CM Punk. But you turn it into a storyline.
But
you give him
publicly announce his apology.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even better, have him be pissed off that he doesn't immediately get a world title shot.
Yeah. Have him say, I want a world title shot. Moxley says, nah.
Or MJF, or whomever it may be at the time.
I think
I love the idea of an MJF CM Punk feud. Both of them heel.
Yeah. I think you start off with Moxley and you just simply have it be Moxley says, nah, man. I worked and I won this again. You go back of the line. Then CM Punk can throw a fit, and then MJF can be like, no, you're at the back of the line. I'm first in line. And then Hangman's second in line because he just won that fucking tournament.
And could be first in line because his has to be set.
Mm-hmm. So you're at least behind us two, right? And then I think Wardlow's gonna get a shot at some point. I don't fucking want him to, but Wardlow will. This is MJF speaking. So you're behind him, I'm sure. And Danielson put on a pretty good fight. So you're probably behind him.
And quite frankly, Eddie Kingston recently beat the ROH champion, so you're behind him too.
You're probably behind him. Oh, and Eddie Kingston did have that match with Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara looked pretty good, so you're probably behind him.
Yeah, I mean he's won 2 TNT championships, so
yeah.
Oh, and Orange Cassidy just puts on great Pac. He's been consistently the all
Atlantic.
Now
he's a double champ, man. He deserves a shot to be a triple champ. I'd say you're definitely behind him. The more I think about it, you are actually back of the line. You are 100% all the way back of the line.
Did you see that one tag match where Trent did that one thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's higher on that. And literally say it that way. Did you see that one tag match where Trent did that one thing?
Yep. So that's my thoughts there. But then you can even use him to launch the Ring of Honor brand, where to its TV show, where you can literally have him say, "Fine, if you're not going to give me a
Jericho.
If you're not going to give me a shot at the AEW World Championship, then I want my shot at the Ring of Honor World Championship, and I deserve that." And Jericho can
get the same fucking promo.
Set the same promo. But say, you know what?
Claudio should get a rematch. I mean,
yeah. But even then, you could even say, because this is the butts and seat part. Say, you know what though? Even though you should be at the back of the line, I will grant you your match on the first episode of Ring of Honor on True TV. You will get your shot. Now you've got your main event for the first show back on TV for Ring of Honor.
For the two of the top 5 draws in wrestling today.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't want to discount MJF or Kenny Omega, but in the US, those two are up there. Those two are with Moxley, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins. Trying to think of who's bigger draws. Who else would be a bigger draw? Could be in that category of as big a draw. Drew, maybe. Bobby, maybe. Not likely. Unfortunately, Suzuki Okada would not be a top draw in the U.S., which is a crying shame. Same with Will Osprey. You heard it here first, folks. Will Osprey to ROH confirmed.
Yeah. Well, here's a game that we can play.
Oh, my internet, my interwebs. Oh, am I coming back?
Are you there?
Stand back. There's an interwebs coming through.
Are you there? Oh, are you there now? Are you there now?
I'm back. I'm back. Yep.
Are you there now?
Can you hear me now? Good.
Are you there now?
Now. There. Now you can see me. I'm like those magicians.
Are you there now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, just making sure.
Are you there now?
You been watching some type of Wisconsin TV show or something? Are you there now? Don't you know?
Oh, how about now? Okay. Let's see here. Let's see if there's a fun game I can make out of this. Just a short game. So this is a give me their kayfabe name.
Ooh, so I'm gonna get their real name like Phil Brooks, and I'm gonna have to say CM Punk.
Yes.
Okay. Clues like where they hail from and stuff of that sort.
Yeah, if
I miss, yeah, if I miss, okay.
Yeah. I'm trying. I am choosing a variant on some names. So classic wrestlers and some more modern wrestlers. Okay, her real name is Deonna Purrazzo.
I'm gonna go with Mickey James. No,
You are wrong.
Deonna Purrazzo, obviously.
Okay, that's. Choosing a couple here. Okay. I'm trying not to choose too obscure of names. So all of these should be names that all of these should be wrestlers that you know.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna.
It's a fair.
Choose some random indie wrestler. Okay. And have here? Okay. We'll go through the ones I've already got. And then if we need more.
Dan.
And then
But it's also not going to be like easy like Glenn Jacobs or Mark Calloway.
No. I'm trying to stay away from the ones that are super well known, right?
Yeah,
but these are all people that you know. So, birth name for this wrestler is Ryan Allen Reeves.
I know this one. Adam Hangman Page.
No. Clue number 1. He is currently 40 years old. Clue number 2. He is not currently active in any major professional wrestling, much to his own chagrin.
Sorry. Was I wrong with John Moxley?
Oh, I didn't hear John Moxley. But yes,
John
you
Moxley.
are wrong on Moxley.
Okay, so what was the next one? Next clue then?
Next clue is he is currently not active in any major wrestling promotion, much to his own chagrin.
EC3.
No.
I don't think he's 40.
He at one point wrestled under the name Skip Sheffield.
Why do I know this name, Ryan Reeves? I'm gonna kick myself, I feel like. Ryback.
You are correct, Ryback.
I had to think for a minute. The Skip Sheffield was not the kicker.
No.
It was where's the right age range and Rye.
Mm-hmm. That's why age was the first clue I gave you, is because I thought that, and then the not currently active in much to his own
chagrin. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Next wrestler.
This one's a fun one. We should do these with JLB.
We should.
Anyway.
Next wrestler. Birth name, Lawrence Whistler.
Apollo.
No.
Okay.
This is a big clue for you. He's a name you know. I'm gonna emphasize that. You know this wrestler. But he is currently 70 years old.
Terry Funk.
No. But you're in the right sort of thing. He trying to figure out the best one to do this. Trained by Bruno Sammartino.
Bob Backlund.
Nope, you're in the right area though.
It's not Ric Flair.
It is not Ric Flair. No.
So.
He has been active in the WWF, the NWA, the AWA, the NWA again, the AWA again, WCW, but never in the WWF. However, he is in the WWF or WWE Hall of Fame.
Junkyard Dog.
No. He was inducted in 2015.
I really want to cheat right now, but I'm not gonna. Alive.
Still alive, yes.
Not wrestling right now.
No.
I am going to go with Keith Von Erich.
Nope. Next clue. You are probably actually most familiar with him on the announce table.
It ain't Jerry Lawler. It ain't Bobby the Brain because he's deceased. Is this Jesse Ventura?
Nope.
See, I thought his real name was Jesse Ventura. So, on the announce table. Gorilla Monsoon's deceased. That doesn't work. Wouldn't have been trained by San Martino. Randy Pofo's deceased. Lanny Poffo?
Nope.
I think he's a baby brother to Randy. So, Lex Luger.
Nope.
Okay.
Again,
not WWF. Yeah.
Your most knowledge of him is as an announcer or as someone at.
Oh, that's right. Table. That's right.
Next clue. His first name, Lawrence, is related to the first name in his ring name.
Larry Zbyszko.
Larry Zbyszko.
God, I had to get I was like, and I gave up on the Larry early on because I was like, well, fuck, I can't think of a Larry back then. Living legend Larry Zbyszko, 70 years old, huh?
70 years old.
God, I love that guy on the announce table.
He was great. Fun fact, he held the AWA World Heavyweight Championship twice, and he is actually the final holder of the AWA World Championship.
That's cool.
He also is married to Kathleen Gagne, who is the daughter of AWA co-founder Vern Gagne and sister of wrestler Greg Gagne. So he's in the Gagne family.
Wow.
So his son, who went on to become a professional wrestler, Tim Zbyszko, is actually technically a third-generation wrestler.
Kind of the same way that The Rock is.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a second generation in between because the second generation married in. That's cool.
Okay. Next one should be a little easier. Take it down. A little easier. Roderick George Toombs.
Sorry, the dew is settling, so satellite gets covered. This one is who?
Roderick George Toombs.
Roddy Piper.
There you go. Gave you an easy one.
I didn't think it'd be Roderick Strong because it was straight up Roderick. So. Okay.
Next one. Also, I think should be easier. Birth name. Monty Kip Sop.
Monty. Kip Sabian.
No.
Okay.
First clue. Currently 58 years old.
That puts him in Trips age. Trips HBK era. Okay. 58 years old. Monty. Is that Marty Jannetty?
No.
Okay.
Third clue. You and I have physically met this person.
Billy Gunn.
Billy Gunn. Fourth clue was going to be
Scissor me, daddy ass.
Okay. Just do a couple more of these, and then we'll have this as a fun game ready for us when JLB comes back.
Yeah.
Next name, birth name, Austin Kirk Jenkins.
I don't feel like Austin's any part of it. Fuck, I'm gonna go Val Venus.
Nope. First clue, currently 33 years old.
Is it Austin Gunn?
No.
Okay. 33 years old. Must mean he's still wrestling. We know it's not Joe. We know it's not Colby. Moxley.
No.
Oh fuck! If it's Omega, I'm gonna kick myself for saying Moxley.
It isn't. It is not Omega. I will also say that. He has wrestled in CZW, Ring of Honor, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, WWE, almost exclusively on NXT, though, and All Elite Wrestling.
Oh, he's been on All Elite, so that gets rid of EC3. Has wrestled on, but yeah, okay. That'd be another clue, so I'm not going to do that. Brian Danielson's old. Brian Danielson's real name is Brian Danielson, so that doesn't work. It's not Miroslav. I almost said Miro, and I'm like, never mind. That his name's Miroslav. Shit. NXT. Roderick Strong.
Nope.
Bebe. Is that who this is? Is Bebe? Is this Adam Cole Bebe?
It is Adam Cole, baby.
At least thought it'd be Cole or Adam or
Okay.
Bebe the Third.
Next name. William Jason Resso.
Willie Mack.
No.
Keith Lee.
Nope.
Okay, there's two guesses.
First clue. Currently 48 years old.
48 years old. Kenny Omega.
Nope. Next clue. He was on our TV last week.
Well, shit, I watch a lot of wrestling, man. Powerhouse Hobbs.
No. Next clue. He has wrestled for WWF,
Taz.
TNA,
Taz. I must be
New
wrong with Taz.
Japan, WWE, ECW,
AJ Styles?
Impact
No.
Wrestling,
Christian?
and Christian. It is all Elite Wrestling.
It's AJ or Christian. That's the right age range. I just have to figure out who it is.
Okay.
Once he went to All Elite, it had to be Christian because AJ's never been there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, next one. Birth name, Jasmine Benitez.
Jessamine Duke.
No.
Jazz.
No.
Okay.
Currently 41 years old.
Thunder Rosa.
No.
I
She
don't think
has
she's that
wrestled
old.
in Shimmer, Ring of Honor, WWE, AEW, back to WWE, Impact, back to All Elite Wrestling, and back to Ring of Honor.
Well, she's all over the place. So she hasn't been a world champion in the AEW then. Mercedes Martinez.
Mercedes Martinez it is.
Whew.
Okay. What do you think? One more?
One more. Last one.
Okay. So I am going to give you a choice. 1, 2, or 3.
Let's go with lucky number 3.
Okay. This one might be a tough one. So, birth name.
The other ones weren't, please.
Birth name. Paige Wooding. I had to make sure I was reading it correctly. Paige Wooding.
Jamie Hayter.
Good guess. You got it. Because that was just a guess. I guarantee.
Yeah, that was absolutely just a guess.
Throwing a name out there.
I was just like, well, I got to get to the next clue, and may as well use somebody that I know is not using their real name.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hayter.
Because I was gonna say it was gonna be tough because she was in Stardom and Rev Pro. She wrestled one match for NXT UK, and then All Elite Wrestling. And she's not been a world champion.
Ooh. Yeah, that was purely a guess. I was just like, well, we got to use somebody that we know. And it seems like you're landing in AEW a lot. I was using the clue that you're landing in AEW a lot.
The first...
Old or AEW?
Yeah, the first 5 of them were from the former WWF list. I was about to start on the WWE personnel, and I realized I had a lot of them, so I was like, but that's okay. We've got.
I mean, I don't know what Duke the Dumpster Drosie's real name is. Or Repo Man, or Sean something for Val Venus. I could not tell you Juventud Guerrero's real name. And it might even be Juventud Guerrera. I don't know that for a fact.
I think it's Juventud Guerrero, but if I were to say the name Alan Jones.
A-Train.
No. Currently active in WWE. Alan Jones. Alan Jones.
Currently active in what?
WWE.
Alan Jones currently active in WWE. Drew McIntyre.
No. Alan Jones.
Jones. Kevin Owens. AJ. AJ Styles. Hey, fucking listen.
Listen to me.
I thought you were mocking the fact that dew is building up on my satellite right now. Nice to have enough moisture in the air that dew can build up on my satellite, but
dew. Yeah, as long as it's not fucking 9,000 degrees outside, I'm a happy camper. This is the time of year that I'm fine with the weather most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, it gets down to, well, right now it's 41 degrees here in central Nebraska.
Yep.
Out towards you, it might be 42, 43 because
chilly enough if you have to go out, you put on a jacket.
Maybe, or maybe you just walk out in your underwear,
but you don't have to bundle up, but you also aren't walking outside going, I hate my life. The sun's trying to kill me.
So here's a theoretical question. Too hot or too cold? Which one would you prefer?
So, I've always lived by the philosophy you can always put on more items of clothing to take off more.
Yes, sir. That's the exact philosophy I live by.
And so,
even if you could take off more, there's a point where you're out of clothes to take off.
That's my point. There's a point you got to stop because you don't have anything more. And if you're still hot at that point, you're SOL.
Yeah, you're just fucking hot. Yeah. You can build a fire. You can, whatever it may be. Yeah. The cold, you can always, well, unless you're like on the frozen tundra where there are no way to build shelter. But even then, you can build a snow shelter for yourself.
Yes. And
bundle up, and you can get yourself 3-4 days. It gets so hot that you're going to get heat stroke. You're going to die.
Yep. But anyways, on that note, actually, we didn't end up doing a shorter show. We ended up going
a long show.
Nice and long.
We had a lot of side tangents.
We did. And I didn't even insist on opening $30 worth of cards today.
Did you finish the last two on the last one? I don't remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because my last one was the one where I got both a regular Rikishi and a Chase Rikishi.
I wonder if the pack would have been more valuable clothes. Now, obviously, you wouldn't have known that, but would have been more valuable clothes knowing that they were both in there.
I don't think Rikishi moves the needle as much. Although, I do think Rikishi needs to show up on WWE TV and acknowledge his tribal chief.
Boy, did you see Lawler's comments on Sami Zayn?
I did not. I try to avoid seeing Lawler's comments on anyone.
Yeah, he basically said that Zayn needs to know that. I mean, it was a kayfabe thing where he's basically saying, "Hey, Roman's going to turn on you, Zayn. You got to be ready for that." I don't know if he's trying to get relevance or not. Action Comics first edition Superman. Is that what you got hanging up over there?
It no, it is not a first edition. It is a small painting of a replica of a cover. But it's actually covering my light switch because I hated seeing my light switch behind me. So I hung up a canvas thing over it. So now you don't see that. You see my nerd.
Yeah, but now you have to move the painting to
it actually it's command stripped with hooks, so it you just pivot it up and hit it. It just flips up.
I feel like your t-shirt would work better there because then you can actually just cover it and reach behind it pretty easily.
I haven't found a good way to really hang my t-shirt, and so I don't fuck with it. I just leave it there. But no, I actually like the way it is because it covers it up. But literally, I can just slide my hand behind it, and it pivots out enough that I can flip the light switch. I don't have the lights on while I record because I have my other lights on, so I really don't turn that light switch on very often, anyways. Because I have big light here and big light here,
and lots of little lights back there.
Yeah, lots of little lights.
And if I come on screen, then people can't even see your light switch to begin with. But
yeah,
I spend a lot of time off screen because I don't like being on screen all the time. So there.
Yeah. Well, and your internet sometimes gets in a way where you come on screen, but your picture's frozen. So to us, it's just the picture of you.
I find it very interesting. I'm a podcast watcher, not listener, but watcher. And if you pause any podcast at all, you will inevitably catch the person speaking. And just something that is not, yeah, exactly. It's hilarious because I don't know that you can pause it in a photogenic view.
So, for the most part, I agree with you, except YouTube likes to automatically choose thumbnails if you don't upload your own. And
they can be relatively photogenic.
Because I would like to show you
one of ours.
The automatic thumbnail. God, I don't know how I can show it. Here. We'll just go back to here. No, it's too small. I can't do that. Okay. Well, let's do this. We go to. That's a good way to do it. So,
pardon me.
This is the automatic thumbnail that it created for last week's FBI. Right here. With me.
Putting a hex on me? Oh, yeah.
Right there.
Boy, all of those are... Look at my face and the one next to it.
But so that one there, it paused it right when I was putting a hex on JLB. JLB looks okay. I'm doing the hex. It couldn't be better. The other ones, like that one, I'm looking down. You're looking stoned. This one, I'm looking off stoned. And you're looking down. This one, JLB looks like he's scratching his eye. This one, you look like you're throwing gang signs.
It's really the talky ones, especially if it's just one person, like a commentary type one. If there's a lot of talk, and as you know, most commentary based ones, whether it's commentary ones are typically going to be political in some way, shape, or form. So whether it's Don Lemon or anybody, you just always catch them.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, we've done some tangents. We went off on some things. We talked a little bit about wrestling news, which we don't often talk about. but at least not on this show. And then we did a fun game at the end, which was all sorts of fun. I'm gonna have to come up with a better way to get their original names than jumping through Wikipedia all the time. But we will go ahead and wrap things up for the Fantasy Booking Institute. Next week, I think we have JLB back.
Probably by this show, yeah. I don't know if we'll
Knock
have him on Sunday.
Yeah. So
When
hopefully there.
when is Saudi Arabia elimination or not elimination? Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules is
Seems hard to believe that they'd have that in Saudi Arabia.
Extreme Rules is in Baltimore. Crown Jewel is in Saudi Arabia. So
it's just Crown Jewel. Okay, and that's the next one.
Yeah, that's afterwards. So Saudi Extreme Rules is coming up in
That's like November
October
1st.
8th. So
Extreme Rules is
Extreme Rules.
and then
and it's in Philadelphia. Excuse me, I said Baltimore, but it's in Philadelphia. But then Crown Jewel. That one's the one that's coming up November 5th. So we've got a month left before I get to avoid watching.
That's okay, because AEW has one close to there. And you've got Halloween Havoc the weekend before.
Mm-hmm.
Which will be, again, NXT 1.1.
Yeah.
Their first pay-per-view.
I would like to really quickly, though, before we close the book, because you made me think of this, I would like to commend Trips. Because unlike last year and the previous year, where WWE Extreme Rules had one or maybe two Extreme Rules matches, so far, all of the matches for Extreme Rules are Extreme Rules matches of some sorts.
Yeah, I think that's a key. It's much like TLC.
Mm-hmm.
You don't just have to have a TLC match. Have a tables match. Have a chairs match. Have a ladders match.
As of right now, there are 5 matches announced. Edge versus Finn as an I Quit match. Bianca Belair versus Bayley as a ladder match for the Women's Championship. Drew McIntyre versus Karrion Kross as a strap match. Matt Riddle versus Seth freaking Rollins in a fight pit match. And Liv Morgan versus Ronda Rousey has been announced so far as an Extreme Rules match. You and I were talking, and I think tables match works better for it, but they're doing full Extreme Rules. Apparently.
I really do believe that it works better, and the reason it works better is because you can still have the protect Ronda that they want to do. Like, this is where you actually protect Ronda.
Mm-hmm.
Or you just make Liv an absolute psychopath in an Extreme Rules match, which is fine, I suppose.
Yeah. Take off the kid gloves.
Yeah, just fucking have her do batshit and pull out a fucking taser and tase Ronda.
Speaking of batshit, we did get hints last night on WWE that Nikki Cross may be abandoning the Nikki ASH gimmick. Knock on whatever closest to what I have.
Hopefully she can go a little bit Looney Tune.
It'd be the hope. But
Bite
anyways,
the ropes.
But anyways, we're going to go ahead and close the book on this. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the live stream on Twitch if you want to watch it live, or the replays that are going to go up on YouTube and the regular audio version on our thing. If you want to share it with your friends, let them know. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, give us a subscribe on Twitch. It's free for you. You get one free one a month and helps us out a lot. You can follow us on the social media. You can follow me at Raw and Order WBU, just like it says right there on Twitch and TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, but not on Facebook where it's at Pissant Podcast. You can follow D.A. Fabe at
D.A. Vincent K. Fabe. Damn it, I was wrong. D.A. Vincent K. Fabe.
But just on Twitter.
Just on Twitter.
And
Rarely.
you can...
I did respond to you.
Yeah. Sure did.
Trying to call me out saying that I would say it was cheap pop. It is cheap pop. You're pandering.
I am pandering. But I ordered my first monthly box. I sure would love to get one for free.
Is it a big box or a little box?
The pro wrestling crate that I got is the full-size crate. And I will tell you...
Do you think it'll be a loosely packed box or a tight box?
I don't know. I mean, to be perfectly honest, even the tightest boxes are loosely packed for me. So
You have good skills at opening boxes.
I wouldn't say I've got good skills on them, but I will say that I have yet to find boxes that are tight enough to really
Deal with your package.
You know, yeah. I mean, they're all a little loosely packed around me. Anyways, the pro wrestling crate. Right, I signed up for the full box because they also have one that's just like a light version that's t-shirt only, or whatever. But I signed up for the full box, for the Masks and Paint Halloween special, including stuff from Sting, Danhausen, Abaddon, Insane Clown Posse, Macho Man Randy Savage, Warlord, Mick Foley, and potentially others. It's going to include 2 exclusively designed wrestling shirts, 1 autographed 8x10 by somebody, a legend or an independent superstar, a custom-made Micro Brawler wrestling figure, exclusive collector's pins, DVDs, and other fun collectibles, and a 10% code for 10% off of a Pro Wrestling Tees order. Which, just a little hint for people, I will be giving away that 10% off code to somebody.
Ooh.
Somebody will get the 10% off Pro Wrestling Tees order code, right? So I don't know what the merch is going to be. You know, you never know what it is until you open it. But to give an idea of past crates, let's see. Let's just go here. This crate, it looks like it had a Young Bucks and a Money Incorporated shirt. It had a Tamatonga Micro Brawler. It had a DVD of, I can't quite read it. It had a signed 8x10 with FTR. And then some other stuff that it's hard to make out. Previous one, I'm angry. The previous one to that had a MJF shirt and a CM Punk shirt. A signed 8x10 of Dean Malenko. Dino the Machino. And then a bunch of other stuff. The previous one to that had a Rainmaker shirt and a Cody Rhodes shirt. A DVD of ECW death matches. A signed Teddy Long. And some socks that I can't quite see what they are. But like previous things, there was an IRS signed 8x10, TJP and a Lex Luger signed 8x10 in one thing. Britt Baker signed 8x10.
So are you? Did you want to single order, or did you subscribe?
I subscribed, but you can cancel at any time. I just did month to month, so I'm hoping to just continue subscribing for a while. Hoping. I wanted to subscribe to the AEW crate, but they only do that quarterly, and they're sold out for this next quarter, so.
Past crates. Boy, there was a fun one.
Hmm.
Kevin Steen, Pinta El Cerro Miaro.
But yeah.
Muta Papashenko. Roddy Piper, Eddie Guerrero, Young Bucks. Jim Ross is your signed 8x10.
Yeah.
I don't know how excited I get about some of these 8x10s, though.
Well, it's a crapshoot, like you said, you know. And that's why the Dean Malenko 8x10 I'd have been stoked for. The
Yeah.
IRS 8x10, nah. But the next All Elite crate, which is sold out, but maybe I'll be able to get into Q1 of next year. The next one, though, as Young Bucks, FTR, Samoa Joe, Abaddon, Chris Jericho Appreciation Society, Kenny Omega, Hook, Darby Allin, Sammy Guevara, and Hangman Page items in it.
Kurt Angle You Suck shirt and a Bionic Elbow Dusty Road shirt. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the Cody sticker that I once had on my vehicle, but I had to sell that vehicle. Tales, that was a really good crate. It's like 4th of July, maybe.
Yep, quite possibly. I'm looking forward to the shirts. But again, that's the thing with the, you know, I mean, Young Bucks and Money Incorporated last month, or potentially last month. I might wear the Young Bucks shirt. I don't know if I'd wear the Money Incorporated shirt.
Holy crap, this one is a classic. Iron Man, Macho Man. Or Iron Sheik, Macho Man. Pro Wrestling Tees fanny pack. And Arn Anderson signed 8x10. A Ric Flair DVD. And I don't know, maybe like a towel, it looks like. And a pro wrestling action figure.
Yeah.
God, there's some fun ones here.
There are some fun ones. So. Anyways.
Yeah.
So that's why I put it up there, is because I'm like, man, if I could get my next crate for free, that sure would be nice.
What the AEW crate, the one that had Elite Rhapsody on it. That's fucking cool as shit.
Yeah.
Who's the gal? I'm trying to see who's the... Kylie Ray was the signed picture.
Let's see if anyone's posted spoilers for the next. No.
Oh, there was a women pro wrestling one. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Anyways,
got some aviators for one. Not Emma. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about.
Anyways, I was trying to wrap this up and then we got distracted again because ADD. So we're going to go ahead and close the book. Thank you all for listening. We will see you soon.
Bye.